maybe after your first practice, but considering you will be a free agent in July, it seems like a priority.
Yeah, I think, Josh, a lot of times that sorts itself out over the year with how the team performs and how the player performs. So we certainly traded for Serge, thinking long term, and that's our expectation.
Rob, how different is?
You already talked about the playoffs, but do you have a different sense about this team now since you guys are going to speak to?
Well, Brian, I think we did add some veterans to the team. I think in some critical spots that can help pop us up. And also continue growth and development of our young players. We got Aaron and Elford who are entering their third year now. We're expecting next jump. So I think the blend of not only the youth and the veteranship will help, but also I think we have a lot of guys that complement one another. I think that's important.
But do the veteran guys kind of feel better about the chances of making the playoffs with those guys as opposed to having, 2 rookies, 4 second-year guys?
Yeah, I think certainly the added experience obviously gives us a comfort level, but it certainly gives us more confidence in being able to depend on guys in given situations. So, but again, we're going to have to do it collectively and do it as a unit.
Well, we heard coaches known for teaching defense, got 2 elite shot blockers. Do you feel like, I know time will tell, but do you feel like it has the potential to be a really good defensive team?
Well, we certainly hope so. I think our identity has to be defensive end first and foremost. That's been the goal since we started rebuilding. We hope that this year we'll cement ourselves as a top-flight defensive team. And if we can hang our hat on that night in and night out, we'll be okay this season. Certainly, it doesn't mean we don't want to play offense, but it starts on the defensive end.
These 3 young guys, Alfred, Aaron, and Mario, is it a big time for them to take the next step with their games?
Yeah, it's a big time for everybody. Guys that we worked on this summer, but get into the concept. So I wouldn't put it on 1, 2, or 3 guys. Like I said,
Rob, how would you react, how would the franchise react if several of your players take a knee during the National Anthem?
Josh, our stance is certainly, I think our preference would be anything we do as a team and collectively, our preference would be that our guys continue to stand during the anthem as we have. At the same time, I think what's important and what we've been talking to our guys about is really trying to identify actionable initiatives that can help spread awareness and help continue dialogue within the community and even broader scope than that. So I think that's where the interest is. I think that's where the focus lies, especially just talking to our guys. So it's about figuring out how to raise awareness and continue dialogue.
Is that dialogue, your impression is that they will not take a knee?
I'm not sure. Everyone has a right to express themselves freely, and we certainly respect that.
Well, why did you feel the need to address that with them in terms of the action and what needs to?
Say that one more time.
Why did you feel the need to address the whole anthem and their position with them, and why did you feel that was a necessary?
Communication is very important, and we take that very important with our guys. It's one of many things we always talk to them about. So, considering it's such a topic that's top of mind and is at the forefront, we felt it was necessary just to have a dialogue with our guys, and vice versa.
Robert, when you were younger, you probably had a beard, long hair.
I had a beard this summer.
Younger days, did you protest anything?
I think I protested being sent to my room as a kid when I got in trouble. But there are ways to do it. I think one of the important things or the great things about this country is freedom of expression. At the same time, it's also, I think, important to honor the country and everything it's been able to provide for everyone.
Frank seems, everybody reads and sees what's positive, and he says he's a builder, a confidence builder, and considers it like a partnership with players. What have you learned about him? What do you think will work best with these players?
I think Frank's approach is it's very genuine. I think he really believes in coaching, but at the same time connecting with players. And I think his general approach is to really treat guys with it's really a collaboration via dive. You know, how are we going to get this done collectively? I think our guys will really respond to that.
Go ahead.
Do you think you have enough shooting on the roster the way it's built today, or is that something you'll continue to try to address throughout the course of the season?
Well, you can never have enough shooting, right? So we'll always look to add shooting to the team where we can. We think we did a decent job of adding shooting to our team this summer. So we don't see that as a weakness. If anything, we see it as something that we've addressed and will continue to address. But again, you know, our focus is instilling a defensive identity and a defensive mindset and going from there.
Some of your free agent acquisitions, they've got that playoff experience. How do you expect them to mentor some of the guys on this team who are new or, like Vucevic, haven't been to that postseason yet?
Yeah, so we added a lot of playoff experience this summer, and that's a good question. You know, I think a lot of that can happen naturally. I think first and foremost by example, right? If you've been there and you've had that experience, you can just through your actions oftentimes bestow knowledge or wisdom or what have you. So I think it'll be a collection of, you know, some of the veterans just leading by example, but then also, you know, maybe spreading a nugget or two of wisdom verbally throughout the year.
How does the team navigate the locker room where some guys are earning, due to the inflated salary cap, where some guys are earning much larger salaries than veterans who've been here?
Yeah, I think that's a dynamic that every team faces, and I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, just the mindset of the group. And our hope and our expectation is the mindset's going to be about winning games and trying to figure out every single way we can do that collectively.
You go up and down the roster, there's probably not one single guy who doesn't have something that he feels like he might have to prove to either himself or the fans or the media, you know, whatever, the coach. Is that what kind of dynamic is that, and how does the team ensure that people aren't doing their own individual?
That's a dynamic that every team faces. You know, any professional sports team will face those dynamics year in and year out. Again, our focus has always been to bring high character, intelligent, really focused individuals to the team, and it's our belief that mindset, both individually and collectively, protects against those dynamics, but certainly it's things all teams have to face, and we'll work through it.
When you consider going for a player, right, whether it's a veteran or it's a fresh face, do you look to see if they have that hunger, that desire, or to match their skills, or is it just, hey, this guy can play ball, let's just talk to him and see what he's about?
It's always both. It's always going to be a combination of things, whether it's mindset or skill set or experience. So you can never, I think sometimes it's dangerous maybe just to pinpoint one factor or what have you. So it's always a connection and a collaboration, and you know, that's why we information gather as much as we do throughout the year on all those types of facets.
Well, you guys went aggressively in our free agency after Surge and also Biz. So how do you factor in or look at them in terms of starting rotation? I mean, do you look at those guys as being your starters at the 4 and 5 spot at this point?
You know, we see that as a real strength of ours, the depth and the versatility of our front court. With Surge and Biz and Nick, we feel like all those guys complement one another. And so, again, we think that will sort itself out with playing time, with how those guys play individually, how they play collectively. But the depth is a real strength, and the versatility is a strength that we're going to have to rely on this season.
Biz was one of the best players in the playoffs. He dominated that stretches with his offensive rebound. Can he play like that over a full season? I'm sure a lot of people are wondering that. He got the minutes, he got the opportunity in the playoffs.
Well, we certainly hope so.
Yeah.
You know, I think one of the things that really attracted us to Biz is the way he goes about competing. He's such a team player. He is someone who, you've watched him throughout the year, he really impacts winning in lots of different ways. Sometimes they're overt ways, sometimes they're subtle ways that we go in box score. It's just his spirit, his toughness, his ability to lead, and his ability to impact the game. So our expectation is that he'll be protected by that.
In the conference where I've seen for years, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and Joe Wall get to the rim. Was that something you looked at and said, you've got to find some impediment to keep those guys from having that free run?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the lower quadrant of the league, ripping down the rim, so that was a big focus point for us.
go-to scorer is a cliche, but is that the kind of the missing piece? And since you got some defensive guys now, and will you during the year look for an opportunity to maybe add that?
Well, those guys aren't, plentiful supply, Brian.
Right,
It's a good question. I think that, we'll have to see how it goes. We'll have to see how the team comes together and fits together. Maybe that guy emerges for us. Maybe a few guys emerge for us, and we do it by committee. So, again, we're gonna rely on the expectation that we cement an identity for ourselves, and we rely on the defensive end. And, we have guys that can score too. So it'll probably be by committee, by first, and we'll see how it evolves.
Would you say this is the most excitement around the team since you've been here in Orlando, and highest expectations?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think there's a real palpable excitement that I've felt from the fans that I've been able to interact with, and I think, everyone's excited about sort of the makeup of the team and the depth and the versatility that we have, and now it's on us to go out and prove that we can do it.
What comes to mind for you as the biggest change in the league since you've been general manager? What you see certain things trending and stuff that you might have?
That's a good question. I think, just the general pace, right, continues, I think, on an upward trend, obviously three-point shooting. But, it's still a 5-on-5 game. I think that our belief is and always will be that defense is what should be most important, and that's what we're going to continue to harp on and try to be.
What do you think Serge Ibaka brings that this team was missing before?
Serge brings experience, brings playoff experience, big game experience, brings a defensive ability and skill set that we just haven't had for the past few years. So I think his ability to impact the game defensively, whether it's at the rim or on the perimeter, switching on to smaller guys, just that type of versatility defensively we haven't had, and that's same goes for Biz, and his ability to defend multiple positions. So I think that dynamic, was much needed for us to add, and hopefully we've added that.
Do you get the sense talking to Ibaka that he has to win? I mean, he's been in a winning culture in Oklahoma City forever. Is that an inert pressure that winning here will help keep him around?
I think Serge wants to win. All players want to win. So,
but he's got a taste of it.
Of course, yeah, of course. I think with Serge, he's a team player. He's someone that really wants to impact the game, and I think he's looking, for a bigger role to maybe be able to do that. So we'll see how it goes. But certainly, there's certainly pressure to win. For all of us.
You?
Of course.
You feel that?
I feel it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you're not human if you don't. So it's a pressure business, and that's what we all signed up for. So it's part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.